Hi, this is Janet with Try It Like It Created, and today I am working for a project with Artestprix. And so what I have in front of me is my Cricut light table, and I have just taped down my printout upside down on the light box, and then I'm putting a heavy piece of craft paper on top of it, and I'm going to tape that down as well, and then turn on the light so now I can see my design. And so I am going to start just tracing around the letters up here at the top, and I'm going to use my ruler to do the lines here, and then once that's done I will come back and show you what it looks like. So now what I have here is I have finished doing my tracing, and you can see that I had some smudges on here and I wasn't sure what they were, if it was in the paper or if it was my ink, and so I just cut them out so they won't show up on my piece if they were sublimation ink. So that's something you can always do, is cut off any spills or errors. You can also try covering it up with the heat transfer tape. So what I have here now in front of me is a palette, and I have a lot of the white. Now the white is a lightening medium. It is not white paint. It is just going to make my colors lighter. And so what I'm going with here is a light blue, a light yellow, and probably a green. And so I have my blue off to the side here, and I'm just going to lightly add it in to the white until I get a pretty light color, because I don't want a real dark mixture happening on my menu board. So this is going to be the background, and I just want to be very safe, I guess you could say, with the color. So I'm going to take what's on this brush here and add it into this one because I'm going to make green. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more and leave that there, and then we will make our yellow. I'm just adding a little bit of water, and then I'm grabbing yellow is a lot lighter color, and so you can be a little bit more generous with yellow because it's not going to be that intense, I guess I'll say, of a color. So I'm going to add a bit more here, but I'm liking the color that I'm getting. Now, what you see on your paint palette is not necessarily what you're going to end up with. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind, that it's going to look different than what you're seeing here. Okay, and so now I am just going to add my yellow into this blue mixture, just in case I want to darken that up. I'll leave that brush over there, and here I'm going mixing the two colors together to get kind of a green color. And so you can see that that's all very pastel-y, and that's great. All right, so let me set this. I think I like what I have going on there color-wise. All right, yeah. Let me set the paints aside, and I'll show you the next step of what we're going to do here. Is we're going to be doing like a smoosh technique. So let me set this aside, and I'll try to decide if I want to do paper or plastic. I'm going to set my palette up to the side. So what I have in front of me here, you can see, is actually the background. Let me lift you up here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, there we go. So what I have here is the outline in pencil here of the board. Okay, and I'll show you the board in just a few minutes. And then what I have here is the center part that is going to be where I write the menu, and this part is not going to have any color on it. Okay, so I'm going to grab a plastic bag. So this is just a plastic bag from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to bunch it up here. The other nice thing about this is doing it in two parts like this is that if I don't like what I have here, I haven't ruined my type. So I'm gonna be doing 2 transfers of color onto my board, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and pick up some of the colors and just kind of pounce away here in the background. And it's a little messy, and I'm okay with that. And I just want to make sure that I get ink coverage everywhere that's going to be, you know, on the board itself. I want cover to cover coverage. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Introducing different color. It is blending together and making a kind of a green color. I'm okay with that. But you can see that I didn't need a lot of the paint to cover this, right? So I'm just going to add some more yellows because I think it gets washed out. Now, if I wanted to, I could go into this and definitely, you know, paint some dots would be cute. But I think I'm just going to go with this smash kind of technique. Give it a go and see what we get. Okay. So I've added some more yellows in. And I like what I see, but I could use some solid blues in a couple of areas. So let me grab those. All right. So now we just have to let this dry, and then we're ready to sublimate. All right, so I'll be back once this is all dry. All right, so I want to bring you in to show you what's going on. Now, this is the board that we're going to be working on, and it has 2 holes because it hangs like so, but we're going to use it this way. So once we're done, we're going to do a treatment to those to cover them up. And I have my, I believe it's a 9x9 mat, and I have my Cricut press over here heating up to 400 degrees, and it was 105 seconds. Now we are going to have to do this in parts because you can see that this doesn't fit, nor will it fit underneath my press because my press is 9x9. So what we're doing is that we have the 2 pieces. So we have the painted piece that is now dry, and then we have the menu that's going to go on top of it. Okay. Now, just to mention again, I have cut away areas that I felt were a little fuzzy or not quite so clean. Okay. And I'm going to set that aside. And the first thing we're going to do is to put the paint on. So let me get my protective paper. All right, and we're going to have to cut a couple of pieces here. So let's go 1. I think that was my press telling me and look to jump. Okay, that's 2. All right, and then we're going to tape, and the scissors still. All right, move that out of the way. We're working in a crowded space here, so bear with me as I try to show you everything that we have going on. All right, so I am going to line up the board on here where the pencil lines are, and I have decided, I was originally, let me go back to this, I drew the inside lines and went over them generously because I thought I was going to cut this out and have a nice clean hard edge. Then I decided, nope, I kind of like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave it that way. All right, and because my words are on this side, I'm going to put the holes on the other side because it's the less important part of the piece. The other thing about leaving it kind of messy in the center is I don't have to worry about lining everything up, which I was going to have to do, which was going to be quite a feat to do. So, all right, so I have my heat tape here. I just have to find the end and get this started. All right, I should have folded it under the last time I used it. But, okay, I understand you're ready. I should also get a dispenser to hold it in place. So, all right, I am going to be generous with the heat tape here to hold this down because I'm going to flop it about. Does that even make sense? Is that even a word? Flop it? I'm going to be picking it up and turning it over because I want the paint to be on the top of my sandwich. All right. And as I do this, I'm looking to make sure that I am in my pencil lines. All right. One more piece and I think we're going to be good. And then I'm going to flip this over so that it'll get easier next time I need to use it, which will be for the next application. I have brushes trying to get in the frame. All right, so sandwich, crinkly paper down, our board up on top, and hopefully, you know, this is going to stay in place because I'm going to have to do it twice. I'm going to have to do this half and then this half down here. So I'm going to put my protective paper over the top. So there's my sandwich. All right, it's a little slippery. I am on my mat, which probably doesn't matter too much because I am working on a glass mat, which can take the heat. But I will work on my protective mat from Artestprix. Okay, and I think I'm feeling good about this, so I am just gonna go for it. All right, we're gonna put this down and give it a start, and then I'll be back when it's done. All right, so the buzzer has gone off. I have moved my Cricut Easy Press off to the side, and I have taken my protective paper off of the top. And just to show you, I don't even know if it'll show up on the camera, it's so faint, but there is a little bit of discoloration here in the yellow hue. So this paper will get thrown out because you don't want that to transfer onto any of your projects. And before we move this, what you want to do is do a peek test. So we're going to lift up and look at that luscious color. Can you, I don't know if you can even see it. Let me get, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and peel off the whole thing. And look at that lovely color. And somehow we got some black. I don't even see that on my piece. But darn it, we had some black. I didn't use black paint at all or black ink, but it has shown up. So we will just take that as a lesson. All right, now I need to let this completely cool off before I put the next piece on top, because if I go to adjust it a little bit, you're going to, the ink is going to transfer and we're going to see a little bit of a shift happening. So I am going to lift this up now that I can touch it with my hands and let it rest. And thankfully the color that we got on here is really, the black is in the area that we're not going to be using as much, because remember, we're going to put the words over on this side, and then we're going to use this part as the dry erase board. So, all right, I'm gonna let this cool and then I'll be back. All right, so once again, I have my sandwich. I have taped the part that says menu on it onto my board, and I have protective paper underneath. Now, I just actually did what I said I wasn't gonna do, is I reused a piece that has a little bit of ink on it. Reason being, the back of this board is not, cannot be sublimated. So it really isn't gonna matter if there's any little bit there. All right, but I did cut a new piece to the top, and I'm going to put that down. And then I am going to, once again, sublimate this or heat it in 2 parts because it doesn't totally fit underneath my easy press. So I'm going to do the top part, and then I will move and do the bottom part, and then come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have just done the 2 applications of heat for this side for the black ink. And before we untape everything, we want to do a peek test. So I'm going to lift this up, and hopefully you get to see too that, yep, there's black there. So now we can remove everything and see how it turned out for us. I am going to use my dry eraser to hold that down. So there is our menu board. All right, so we have cooled down now, and I want to show you what I am going to do to finish this off. These I found in my mom's old button box. Aren't they fabulous? Can you imagine 60 cents for 4 buttons? Look how old this is. But it goes so well with this project. I'm going to just cut them off of here. And they're flat. The hasp, I think that's what it's called for a button, is hidden. So I am just going to place these over the open holes and in the other 2 corners. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. And then I'm going to use Beacon Quick Grip to attach it. There. So now we can't even see those holes, right? And then I can use magnets on the back, or, you know, just let it stand up in my kitchen, or however I want to do that. But this works as a dry erase board. So I can write in what we're doing each week and then wipe it off and reuse it. So here is the Quick Grip, and I am just going to, I think, because this is a little bit rounded, I'm just going to go across this center piece right here and stick that down. Cover that up. Same here. And then I just need to let it rest. You know, I don't know. I'm going over the holes, so I don't know. How much is getting stuck down on those, but we can always glue it again if it's not working. Give it a little bit of a push. All right. Same here. Let me grab a dirty rag to clean off this tip before I put the top back on. Okay, so now I have a little bit of wiggle room. I am just going to look here and see if how we're lined up. Okay. All right. So there we are, our menu board.